In my last video, I took a look at alcohol-free white wines and tried to establish whether there were any good wines on the market that would make a fair representation of their style and would be a good equivalent to a regular wine. Today, it's the turn of the reds. Hello and welcome to the Grape Explorer, where we celebrate the world of wine. On this channel we do wine education, product reviews and lots of tastings, so if you're interested in wine, consider subscribing. So yes, today it's the turn of the red wines, which I'm particularly looking forward to. Two that I've never tried before, but one of the labels that we have tried before on previous videos, Iceberg, and we've also got Free. Both of these alcohol-free wines, so these are wines that have gone through the regular fermentation process to convert the sugars to alcohol and then had the alcohol stripped away from them, leaving what we call alcohol-free wines. Now what I'm looking for in these wines is similar qualities to that I'd get with a red wine that has alcohol in it. You know, I'm wanting to get some body, some acidity. I'm wanting to get a nice mouthfeel from it. Understanding that the alcohol's taken away, I still want the qualities of a good red wine. So I'm really curious to see what we get today. One of these has been varietally labelled and one is calling itself a blend. We're going to start off with the varietal first. This is from Iceberg, whom you'll have seen before. Their Sauvignon Blanc and their Chardonnay has featured on my channel. This is their Cabernet Sauvignon. Now what's interesting with this one is they, again, as they have done with the previous label, is they put the number of calories on the bottle. The Sauvignon Blanc was 29 calories per glass. This is 28. So red wine, clearly the healthier choice for us all. This is Cabernet Sauvignon, ripe cassis and berry flavours. And again, it's had the alcohol carefully removed, perfect for you to enjoy at any time, on its own, with pasta and with meat dishes. So let's give it a go. Iceberg Cabernet Sauvignon. You know, it's really important to me with these alcohol-free wines that they capture the essence of the aroma correctly. It's very easy to be put off if it doesn't smell like what you're hoping for. So, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon, let's see what they've done. Now in the glass, really nice ruby colour, kind of a medium ruby in colour. On the aroma, yes, it's got some of those wine qualities. That's great. That's what I was hoping for. So we'll give it a proper swirl. You know, quite often these alcohol-free wines to me have smelt really sweet immediately, which, you know, I think can be a little bit off-putting sometimes. This one really retains the qualities of a red wine. And so I am getting cherry and plum. There is some cassis. I'm also getting a lot of raspberry on this one as well. So it is fruity in nature. It's exactly what I would be expecting it to be. Let's give it a taste, see how we get on. It's coming across as medium dry. It always has this, it may be perceived sweetness rather than actual sweetness, but I always get a sweet sensation. But what I am getting with this one, which is quite interesting, is I'm getting the sensation of tannin, which is good because, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon, thick-skinned grape, lots of tannins. I would, you know, and again, I'm looking for a representation of an alcoholized version of this wine. So yeah, some tannin. No acidity really though to speak of. And I think now I've had my second sip, I think it possibly is perceived sweetness. It is actually, the more I think about it, it is actually dry. In terms of body, sort of medium minus body. Hasn't got a particularly long finish, but perfectly enjoyable. I actually think these wines are better suited to summertime perhaps than wintertime. And that may just be a personal thing, but this one's definitely very approachable. And for someone looking for that alcohol-free style, I would definitely recommend this. You know, I've tried 3 Icebergs now. This is the first time I've tried a red, and I actually think this is the best one that they do of the 3 that I've tried so far. It feels a bit more like a red wine should. Very enjoyable. It has a tendency to go on the fruit cordial side a little bit, but it is enjoyable. So, you know, aromas I thought were really good on this, and I think that's matched on the palate. It is fruity on the nose, it's fruity on the palate. Doesn't really have the length, intensity or complexity, but that's kind of a mark of how all of these wines have been. So really this is all about, you know, is it drinkable? Would it be enjoyable? Is it something you'd give to other people? And like I say, for me, this is the best iceberg that I've tried from the range that are available. And so, yeah, hats off to them. I think they've done a really good job with this wine. Moving on to the second one then. This is free. I managed to get this from a different supermarket. It cost a little bit more. That one was £3.50, I think. I think this was £3.75. Not a huge difference. Interestingly, this one's labelled itself as red blend, so I don't really know what it is. But I do know it's come from Californian vineyards. This one, iceberg, is from Germany. This one's from the USA, from California. Ripe, rich taste, intense ruby colour, bold black cherry aromas, abundant grape and cherry fruit flavours, subtle smoke and spice. So this one's clearly trying to go for some kind of complexity. This will be a really interesting one to try. Produced in the United States, made and bottled in the Sutter Home Winery, Napa County in California. So there we go. Okay. Very curious to try this one. Lovely sound coming out, really nice ruby colour coming out of the glass as well. Again, I think that's a really nice one. Quite similar, this one's actually a little bit deeper in colour. So deep ruby on this one. On the nose, they have done a great job here. That feels as though it's got a bit of complexity going on. The spice really comes through. Cherries and plum are what come through for me, kind of fruit-wise. And then yeah, there is some vanilla on here. There's a little bit of baking spices as well. It's all quite subtle, but it certainly makes it appear like a bit more of a complex style of wine. That 25 pence is obviously gone on all the spice. So let's give it a taste. It's got a little bit of spice on the palate as well. It's actually got quite a lot of vanilla. Might be a bit too vanilla-y. Got real tannins to it. It feels quite mouth-drying. So this one, absolutely, this is a dry wine. No acidity on this particular one. But the taste, the palate is a little bit more interesting than the last one. You know, there is some spice that's sitting on here. I do get a lot of the vanilla, but I'm also getting some of those fruit characteristics as well. It's kind of like a baked cherry pie. That's how it tastes. It tastes like a cherry pie. So no complaints there. Big fan of cherry pie. Big fan of this wine. Clearly, that's. Let me have a little bit more. This is good stuff. I mean, this company now has been established since 1992, so just over 25 years on, they've clearly got the experience behind them of what constitutes a good alcohol-free wine. And they're obviously getting into their stride at just the right time where alcohol-free wine is becoming ever more popular. They've done a really good job here to actually create a little bit of complexity. Now, it hasn't really got the length or the intensity, but it is balanced and it does have that complexity about it, because there are what you could classify as secondary aromas with this one. So overall, out of the two, both excellent actually. Neither have disappointed at all, and they are two very distinct styles of wine. This one's fruity, and this one's fruit and spice, a little bit more complexity. So well done to Free. I definitely want to see what else they've got out there. This was the only choice that was available to me locally where I live, but I really want to see what else they've got. And I'm absolutely going to go and enjoy this with something else. So I could eat this with some pasta quite happily, with some pizza quite happily. Yeah, it's got a really nice finish to it. Very enjoyable, no complaints whatsoever. So there we go. Again, I think it demonstrates, you know, there is clearly an increasing market for this sort of stuff. There's absolutely some fantastic opportunity to make some really good wines in an alcohol-free style. And, you know, Germany and the United States, clearly doing a good job and meeting the consumer's needs with this. But for me, of the two that I've tried today, this one definitely has been a bit of a surprise, simply because I wasn't really expecting any level of complexity, and to have some spice integrated with the fruit, I just think made for a really nice surprise. So there we go, success. Over to you then. Red wines, alcohol free, what would you suggest? What can you recommend? Where can you recommend I could get some wines like this? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm the Grape Explorer. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.